All right, everyone, we are going to go ahead and begin. My name is Mel. I am the membership director here with AEE. I have been here since March, so I'm pretty new, but I am happy to be a part of this. This is my first world, so making a lot of memories as we are enjoying Legends yesterday and many, many more over the next few days. So thank you all for being here. I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Eric Woodruff to give a nice welcome.
Thank you, Mel. Well, it's great. It's one of my favorite little mini events for new people, young people to come to a conference. And I always like to welcome, we started something like this about 10, 15 years ago to really honor the new people that are coming into the field. Because like Bear Grylls said, you all are the people that need to push hard and move this rock forward. So all I wanted to say is just welcome you to the conference. If you haven't been here before, it's a great idea to walk around the expo. You probably find maybe future employers there, lots of opportunities to network and just make the most of it. Because you're only here for a few days, it's a great place to kind of plan for your next step. So enjoy the conference, get the most out of it. I think there's probably free alcohol somewhere, which is usually on students' minds. So you can sort that out, and we'll be seeing you. So I would like to introduce, are we bringing up Alun right now? Alan? No, we're going to chill for a little bit. We're going to bring up Saul. Okay, so I'd like to bring up Saul here, and he'll kick off the program. And I believe, I apologize. We weren't exactly fully prepared for this. So Saul's going to be giving you a talk about going beyond the degree, myths and truths needed for a successful engineering career. I'm sure it'll be very interesting. Take it in, enjoy, and Saul, are you ready? Okay, fantastic. Come on up. Sorry, so where's the wonderful? You'll do great.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Okay. Are we up there? Yes, there we are. Okay. So I apologize to some people here who I'm not going to, point anybody out, but there are people here who probably are not students, but that's okay. You can pass this along to the other people. I think if I were to ask you guys to write a letter to yourself when you were 15 or 16, you'd probably have some good tips for what you would do as you go through college to make your life a little bit easier. What I'm presenting here today is really the letter that I would have written to myself that I wished I knew, and so I'm passing this on to you so you guys can take this and really make the most of your careers. And there we go. Now, let's start at the beginning. You guys finish your degrees, you're going out to get a job. I think we can all agree in some sense, obviously there are plenty of variables, but the person with the higher GPA, the person who attended the quote-unquote better university or worked for a larger company or a prestigious company for their internships is going to have an advantage when they get the job, when they go for those interviews. They're going to be looked at a little bit more favorable. That does not mean that if you have a lower GPA, didn't go to the top university, or did not have those internships, you're in trouble, but you might have different challenges than somebody that comes along with those characteristics. But once you get beyond that, who actually has the more successful career? And the truth is, none of those things matter once you get past that first stage. Nobody has ever asked me for my GPA after that first job. A few people might notice where I went to university, but nobody really cares. And they can ask about the internships, but frankly, I had none, so that's really not a good source of information. But in my 19 years in the field, successfully increasing my responsibilities, more, better jobs, more prestigious roles, none of that has ever affected me. Now, this is sort of all in our minds. And now, before we kind of get into what actually does matter and what will help in your career, I want you all to take a breath and worry you're not behind. If you have not done some of these things, if you have not started some of the things that I talk about, don't worry about it. You'll start now, and you'll move forward from here. You're not behind other people. If you do see somebody who seems to be so far ahead of you, yeah, that's the one guy who does it. And that's like, the Facebook or the Instagram effect, where the people who only post good things, they're never going to post, hey, by the way, I did not get that job I wanted. They're going to post up there, hey, I got the Google job. I landed that dream job. All you see is the good stuff. You don't see any of these failures. And so don't worry about it. You are not behind. You are doing just great. A lot of people talk about passion. Focus on your passion. Focus. Oh, okay, there we go. Am I not loud enough? Oh, okay. Is that on? Oh, I got to tell you, through all my years in school, I have never heard a teacher tell me to speak quieter. I was always that guy. My parents always heard that, but whatever. So a lot of people talk about following your passion, and that's what you have to have this passion. Let me tell you that when I finished engineering school, 5.5 years, I went straight through my master's, I never heard of energy engineering. I was planning to move down to Baltimore for family reasons, and I was really looking for energy firms, or engineering firms, I should say. And I found this firm that deals with HVAC projects, mainly in schools and in federal facilities. It was really only after I got there that I realized all of those projects were done within the realm of energy engineering. It was a field that I had not heard of. And this is really a lesson in terms of your passion. It's something that you develop. You can have interests, you can have things that you want to go towards, but don't worry if you don't have that single interest that, hey, this is my goal, this is where I want to be in 10 years. Don't worry about it. You'll weave your way to it. And for those of you who are interested in reading, I highly recommend this book by Cal Newport, So Good They Can't Ignore You, where he really talks about the idea of building your skills, taking the time to develop these sort of pieces of the puzzle that you can then use to go towards that passion, to go towards those goals, and really succeed in them. Because if you jump right towards that passion and not really follow along a path, what's going to end up is you're going to fail at some point because you don't have the building blocks to be successful in that area. So your engineering degree is great. I'm not trying to minimize it at all, but you have to realize your engineering degree is the foundation. And upon that degree, you need to start building and going to the next level. You want to start learning from everyone, and I really mean everyone. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a divide when you get into the field of engineering that, okay, you're the engineer, you're the smart guy in the room, you're the guy who made all the calculations, and then you look over there and you say, oh, there's the maintenance guy, yeah, he'll take care of it once I finish my role, or there's the installation guy, yeah, he'll just follow all of my directions. But what you realize is engineering school does not teach you those things. If you can take some time to learn from all of those guys, you will be well ahead of people who ignore them. I know that I've seen maintenance guys actually show me what it takes to deal with a boiler. It gives you a different perspective when you actually are designing it. We actually had a case where the installation guy called my office one time, wanted to talk to my coworker, and he said, hey, let me ask you, how do you want us to install this water heater? And my coworker said to him, I don't know, make the connections, move the old one out of the way, and just take care of it. He goes, well, here's the problem. What you designed may work, in terms of the needs of the building, in terms of domestic hot water load, but it can't fit through the front door. So you're going to have to do something about this. I got to tell you, engineering school will never teach you to check the front door to make sure the equipment can actually fit in. It'll teach you how to do all the load calculations, but these are the things that you just don't consider until you talk to people in the field. And also, I mentioned sort of picking up those skills along the way. Don't worry about, well, how is this going to fit? If I want to go into solar, does this actually work with solar? It's really about what are you doing within that solar position. And then you can take that experience and apply it. So you want to frame what you've done and show them how it does apply to what they're doing. Now, we've all been told there are no dumb questions. And I'm not going to say there are no dumb questions, but there are certainly questions that are lacking in value. And I think, now that you guys are all older, I can say that. I would never say that to a 5-year-old. I would just tell them to keep asking all their crazy questions. But there is a way to ask a question so that you get the most out of your relationship with the senior engineers. You want to ask them questions with a solution. Say, hey, here's the problem, here's what I think, where can we go from this? It doesn't matter if you're wrong. At least it shows them that you're trying and you're not wasting their time just coming to them with every little thing. So you're getting a lot more out of that relationship. And the other thing is, I noted there, when not to ask questions. A lot of senior engineers, and I rail on the senior engineers who do not help younger engineers. Because let's face it, we were all in your position at one point. We were all that young, dumb engineer who came in and really knew nothing. So you really have a responsibility as a senior engineer to help bring those guys along. Because none of us would be where we were today without a senior engineer helping us at some point. However, you do have to be respectful of their time, respectful of their flow of work. So work with them, find out what works. Can I come to you at the end of the day? Should I bring it to you at the end of the week? Should I email you? Work with them on how they would like the questions asked so you get the most out of it. When we talk about building on the foundation, a lot of people jump towards licensing, certifications, they jump towards graduate degrees. Graduate degrees are great if you have a reason for them. You should not plan coming in as a freshman that you're going to get a master's degree. It really may not be necessary, and you're really wasting your time. And I think the best way to describe this is in a vacuum, if I have two resumes sitting in front of me, one of them, they're exactly the same, except one of them has the master's and the other one doesn't, sure, that master's might help you out. But the real question you should be asking yourself is, what could I be doing with my time if I wasn't going for that master's? If it takes you 2 years to get that master's, yes, you have a master's degree at the end. But if you could take those 2 years and work at an office, learn hands-on skills, that may end up being a lot more valuable. And that's something that, you can't put it up on the educational side of your resume, but you can certainly put it in there under your experience, and it really carries a lot of weight. So really decide whether you need it or not, really need it or not. In terms of certifications, how do you know what you need? It sounds nice to have lots of letters after your name. I know some of my friends make fun of me because I've had a few of them that have come and gone over the years. My thing is, if you need it for the job, get it. If your office will pay for it, get it. Because, why not? And that's really, honestly, that's how I got my CEM years ago when I was working for that first firm. One of the guys in the office had it. He was leaving. And I happened to see that they were giving the course about an hour away in a couple months. So I just asked my boss. I said, hey, I think it's important that we have somebody who's a CEM certified engineer. And he agreed. So that's how I got my CEM. Later, I ended up getting my PE. This is not quite as applicable for any international students, but anybody who is a US-based student, take the FEEIT exam now. I don't care if you don't think you're going to need the PE, but I tell you, take it now. Because if you find out in 4 or 5 years that you do want the PE, you do not want to take the FE at that point. It is a lot harder than it needs to be. Trust me, I took it 3 years after my master's, and it sucked. This is not something that I wish upon all of you guys. Public speaking is something that I stumbled into by accident because I wanted an easy A, and my friend told me that, hey, here's an elective you can take in college that you'll breeze right through, easy A, why not? And public speaking is something that a lot of engineers do not learn, and it's also something they shy away from because they're looking at it as, me standing up here, Tony Robbins standing up in front of 500 people. And that's cool. If you don't want to do that, it's really easy to go your entire career and never do that. Not a problem. But how many times are you going to be giving a presentation to 3 or 4 engineers in your department? Or perhaps you're going to have some investors coming in. If you look at that, change your mindset and think of that as public speaking as well and really getting your ideas across, then the skills that you learn with public speaking can transfer very well to there as well. So if you can build that up, it'll certainly help you in many areas. And along with that is your writing skills. You can be the best engineer, but if you can't transfer that information over to somebody else, it's really going to limit you in your skills. If you're looking to gain speaking skills, Toastmasters International is an excellent group. They have chapters really all over the world. Obviously, bigger cities will have more of them and better times that might fit your schedule. But I certainly recommend you check that out. For those of you in university, see if you can find it as a non-technical elective. It's a very, very good class to take, and also easy A to go along with your engineering classes, which are, of course, not quite as easy of an A. Also, a lot of companies are happy if you do some sort of lunch and learn type of programs. This is a nice, friendly environment that you're teaching something to your coworkers. So they'll look at it as an educational advancement for everybody, but also it'll help you with your own public speaking skills. Now, networking is something that a lot of people see as a dirty word. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And, you know, to some extent, this is really true. And I know a lot of people say, hey, you know, you're sort of cheating, you're getting to the top of the line, it's a little bit slimier, forced, or perhaps, you know, hey, it's just a lot harder to do that than to do online applications. To all of those things, I say, yeah, it could be slimy, it could be forced, but it really depends on how you look at it. If you're meeting somebody, not for the sake of a job, but you're meeting somebody for the sake of a relationship, and then, who knows, it might turn out to be a job later on, then it's not forced or slimy. It's also not cutting to the top of the list, because quite frankly, you can have that 4.0. You can have those great internships. But how is that guy going to find you? They're not spending all this time to find you. I know your grandmother thinks you're special, but you know, like, they're not finding you. And so really, networking is a way to get your resume in so that somebody gives you the shot. You are not getting the job, except for very few instances, directly because of that networking connection. And when it comes to online applications, yeah, it's true. Online applications are a heck of a lot easier. And I'm not telling you to stop doing them completely. But when you think about how many applications some people send out, they'll send out 100, 200, 300, 400. I know a guy was telling me he sent out 1,000 applications. Yeah, I mean, certainly you can't meet 1,000 people in the same manner, but the efficiency that you get through networking, it can't compare to the online applications, which are faceless, and they can easily just, you know, throw you out because they didn't like one little thing on your resume. So then the question becomes, okay, who are you connecting with? What should you write them about? When should you connect? The when, I'll start with that first. Start now. Even if you're not looking for a job, now is the time to start connecting with people, because you have no ulterior motives. You just want to connect with them. You just want to learn from them. And they really will be open to it. Also, if you kind of make that connection now, in a year when you're looking for that job, you reach out to them, they don't feel as used. They don't feel like, oh, here he is. He's calling me up for a job. Never spoke to me before. You actually have a relationship with them beforehand. When it comes to who you should be reaching out to, you want to have a target market in general, but also, honestly, I accept every connection, because you never know where a connection may lead. I've had engineering students who I've worked with who ended up getting a job because the secretary at the church that they went to is friends with a guy whose brother is an engineer and got him an interview. You know, you never know where that's going to lead, so let people know what you're about and what you're looking for. The other thing I highly recommend, and this works well with reaching out to them early enough, don't ask them for a job. Because if you ask them for a job, they can easily answer no. And that's it. The conversation has ended. You didn't get anything out of them. You didn't learn from them. It's gone. Instead, ask them for guidance. Tell them what you're looking for. Tell them, hey, you know, I'm interested in this area of the field. What would you recommend I do? How would you recommend I go about this? If they have a job and they think you are a good fit, they'll offer it to you because, quite frankly, they have an opening that they're looking to fill. And if you came right along, yeah, they're going to give it to you. The other tip that I actually just recently saw in an article that I think I look back at some of the people who have written letters to me that I think actually is really on point, is not to ask them, hey, what do you recommend I do, as more of an open-ended question, but keep it focused, say, hey, what's one thing I could focus on this year that'll really help me out? Because if you're asking for one thing, they can easily find one thing to help you out. If you keep it broader, then what happens is, oh my God, did I give them enough information? What are they asking for? It's a lot on my shoulders. Do I have time? You want to make it easy for them. This is somebody who could be very busy, and you really want that help from them. So just go for that one thing. And to wrap it up, I highly recommend you guys all find a mentor. You don't need it to be a professional setup or really a formal setup, but have somebody that you can go to, somebody you can ask questions to. And it does not need to be one person. It could be several people. Personally, I actually still go back to a branch manager that I had almost 15 years ago, but he broke off and started his own consulting firm. So when I need business help from an engineering standpoint, he's a guy I go to. I have other people who I go to for technical questions. People are willing to help. People want, we were all in your position at one point, and there is no question in my mind I would not have had a successful career were it not for all the people that helped me. So this is my way of paying it forward. I certainly, my LinkedIn is open. I love to hear from all of you guys. I did start a website, The Engineering Mentor, where it's really just my way of paying it forward for all of the help that I've gotten. So, you guys are here. That's way more than I ever did at your age. Wish you guys all the success, excuse me, and please reach out to me if I can be of help. Thank you.
Thank you, Saul, for the wonderful talk. And I also just want to introduce the whole membership team here at AEE. I am just one part of it. We also have our executive administrator, Michelle Whitlock, who is not able to be here this year, but she plays a very big part in the membership team. And we also have our member engagement specialist, Danielle Johnson. So if you have any questions on any resources that we can help offer you to help you throughout your career search or your time as a student, we are happy to help. But to get started with student awards, I'd like to introduce Alan to present them to you all.
Yes, thank you, Mel. I'm really glad to be here, and I'm really glad to see that so many of you national and international students made it to come here today and be present for this ceremony. Before we start with the student awards, I would like to just say, guys, I know that most lights are shed on the international awards that will be distributed this evening to our international members. But I have to give you credits. So I know that what you survived during the past 2 years was really amazing. I don't think that in our modern history, any generation has suffered what you had to suffer while you were at the university. And surprisingly, you pulled it through amazingly, and you achieved so many things, and you were really innovative. So you deserve the credit, and everybody please join me in applauding for the guys for surviving this era. Okay, so for our first student award category, Best Community Service, our winner is the CFET MG chapter from Brazil. I don't think we have anybody here present to receive the award, right? Okay, so we're just gonna watch the videos they recorded for us.
I'm the Vice President of AEE CFET MG Student Chapter. I would like to thank you for the incredible opportunity that was given to me and my chapter. It's a privilege to represent my chapter here at AEE World. We are a new chapter, the first chapter of Latin America. And despite the challenges mainly because of the pandemic, we are grateful for the recognition and support we have received from AEE. In the fight against COVID-19, the AEE FMJ student chapter participated in the assembly of face shields that were donated to hospitals in the region in partnership with the FED and the energy company Energisa. We also visited rural producers, organized webinars and the course to present the benefits of photovoltaic technology in rural production. We disseminated knowledge aimed at the energy sector through webinars for students and the society in general, having contact with professionals from Brazil and the world through the AEE Brazil chapter. Thanks to the effort of the chapter members and the support of other AEE members, we were able to achieve the incredible results and receive the opportunity to present ourselves here. Thank you very much for this privilege.
Yeah. Allow me just to highlight that the student chapter in Brazil was established like a few months before the COVID, and just barely they had the time to meet a few times before the curfew, and yet during the COVID time, the COVID curfew, they managed to organize a series of webinars and events for their students, and this is why they deserve this award and they deserve our respect. Okay, so now we go to our second category, which is Best Student Chapter Meeting, and the award goes to our Hungary student chapter. Also, I don't think we have any representative here, so we're just gonna jump to the video.
Dear colleagues, my name is David Markovic. I am representing the Hungary student chapter as president. Unfortunately, we are not able to attend the conference in person because of the travel restrictions, so I would like to thank you with this recording for the recognition of having the best student chapter meeting last year. We successfully turned our operation back to offline and hybrid in the past months, and already looking forward to next year's international programs. We are continuously organizing our Summer Academy on Energy and the International Youth Conference on Energy, which programs will be held in next summer if the circumstances allow us. I really hope to meet you soon and wish you good health and a really good time at the conference. So thank you for your time and goodbye.
Congratulations. So yeah, some of those students' chapters were really more creative and more dynamic than the national chapters, and they are like an example for the rest of us. Okay, so our third award, which is for Best Student Chapter Meeting National this time, and the award goes to Kansas State University Student Chapter. And we have a representative, we have a group of representatives, so come on guys. All of you. Jacqueline. So what? You're a mentor. Wow.
A lot of people here.
Okay.
Cornell's talking.
No, you can come. Come on.
Okay.
Come on, no worries. Come here.
Okay, Chase, you and I can stand in the back.
Who's the president? Who's going to receive the award?
Me and Cornell will.
Okay, come on. Okay.
I'm the current president and he was our.
Yeah. Come now. No. That's you hold it. It's yours.
You can't see me, I can't see you. So the gentleman back there. Yeah, that's it. Good. All right. You covered up the lady behind you. The man behind you. Up there. Spread out a little bit. Right there. Good. All right. Jeez. Big smile. Yeah, I was massive. I said, you take off. Real quick. One more. Looks good. Great.
Who's giving this speech? I'll go.
You have presentation, I think.
We did have a video that we wanted to play. Do we have it? Yes, the presentation. Like the yes.
Yeah, just you can just move to the presentation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's just do the next one.
Okay, it's your. So the guys prepared the presentation and the video, but since they won several awards, they want to keep it till the end. So we respect that. Okay, let's give a chance for other chapters. So our fourth category, which is Best Student Chapter Conference and Expo, and the award goes to our Slovak University of Technology in Bratislava Student Chapter. I don't believe they are present here today, so we're just gonna have to settle for the recording.
This year has been challenging due to many aspects. Nevertheless, hard work brings success, and I would like to thank you for the recognition of excellence for Slovak University in Bratislava Student Chapter and for the Best Student Chapter Conference Expo. We are happy that our work has been awarded in this way, and we are motivated to continue working hard. Big thank you and stay healthy.
Yeah. Yes, especially this year, this category has been very challenging to come up with a conference and expo in the middle of COVID, so congratulations. Our fifth category, which is Best Student Chapter Newsletter, and the award goes to Princess Sumayyan University of Technology Student Chapter from Jordan, and I believe we have a recipient. Okay. So also they will keep the speech for the next award. Yeah, you're in strong. Okay, so our next category, Best Student Chapter Social Media Campaign, and it's a new category. This is an award presented for the second year, and the award goes to Al Hussein Technical University Student Chapter, also from Jordan. Do we have any recipient? No. No, Muhammad, would you like to receive the award on their behalf? Different university, rivalry? No, you don't want to do that? Okay. Okay, we'll ship it to them. Okay, let's jump to the next category. Best Overall Student Chapter Performance. And the international award goes to Princess Sumayya University of Technology Student Chapter as well. Welcome again, Muhammad. You should have stayed here.
Hello everyone, I'm Mohammed Ibrahim, the president of PSUT Student Chapter for 2020. I'm very glad to deliver my speech in such an important and momentous occasion in my life. It's a huge honor for me to receive this award on behalf of my chapter. Last year, it was challenging for all of us. The pandemic has changed our lives, I believe, forever. It was very difficult for us to continue what we were doing during the lockdown and during the pandemic. But what we did is we turned these weaknesses into a strength for our chapter, and we adapted the change. And we never forget the mission of AEE to fight the climate change and share awareness through all the events we've did virtually and in person. I would like to thank all the team members for their efforts. Of course, Mr. Samir Zawaide, as always, he's always been our #1 supporter, and our beloved university for their continuous support. These awards' reality become only reality by their hard work, dedication, and support. I'm deeply honored for this recognition for our work from AEE. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, AE.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna just merge the next two awards. So because same university one. So best overall student chapter performance, national, goes to Kansas State University student chapter. And we have best student chapter meeting national also goes to Kansas State University. Yeah, maybe somebody else. Move over. Okay, come to this side, guys. Yeah, you can bring yours.
Thank you, everyone here at AEE, supporting us, awarding us these awards in these difficult times. This is improv, by the way, but I want to let you know that I'm so proud of everyone here in our chapter and all the other students. We couldn't have done this without the support of our advisor, Professor Steffens, and all the other leadership in our club, including Shravani, our club president, Chase, Sid, and our former officers, Carnell, Sherry, and I. And I just hope that this serves as proof that students has been active and doing great things out here in a time of a pandemic, and that we can do the impossible. And we continue to do this, as it will be engineers that will save the world. So congratulations to everyone here that's gotten awards, and I hope you will continue to be successful in your future endeavors. Thanks.
Okay, we're ready.
We at the KSC chapter of AEE humbly accept the Student Chapter Recognition Award, and we would like to thank Professor Stevens, Dr. Mensch, and all of our members in helping contribute to a sustainable energy industry.
That's it.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So, I think with this we come to the end of the student award ceremony distribution. Just a final word. I know that many of you students and student chapters are doing an amazing job and amazing work, but if you do not send us your work, we will not be able to reward it and to give you the award. So please, whenever you have an activity, whenever you do anything, just share it with us. We will be happy to see it. And don't forget to submit your nominations for next year. So maybe you will be standing on the stage and receiving an award for your amazing work. So keep up the good work, and looking forward to see you next year.
All right, everyone, that concludes our student chapter luncheon. So thank you all for coming, and we really appreciate you coming to AE World, and we are happy to be back in person. Enjoy the rest of the events.